Hello and welcome to episode 47 of the Game Train podcast. Joining me always is Carl Doesn't Like Fun Smith.
Wow, hello. Always. I don't know. I think Mark will have something to say about that, but I join you mostly.
Yep. But doesn't argue against the middle name, but that's okay. That's cool. We all know you don't like fun. All right.
All
Okay.
right.
So we've got a big episode today again. We've always got big episodes, but this one is also big. So we've got a heap of news to go through, like a heap. Also, we've got the review on Lara's latest adventure in Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Yes.
Also, we are looking back at the Xbox 360
Ooh.
this week in Games of Our Lives. And again, the passengers sent some questions in which we're gonna talk about later on. But first, let's get into all that news. Alright, so the Nintendo Direct was last week, which was massive. So here we go.
It was massive.
Here we go.
It was.
Luigi's Mansion 3 is coming to the Switch in 2019.
Yes. Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn is coming to 3DS on 2019.
Mario and Luigi's Bowser's Inside Story and Bowser Jr.'s Journey is coming out in the 3DS on January 11.
Just nailed it. Luigi Mansion Original on 3DS is October 12th.
New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe with Luigi version is coming out January 11 on the Nintendo Switch.
Splatoon 2 DLC version 4, which didn't have much else to say about that, is coming soon, but some are speculating that it's some sort of smaller version of a Battle Royale mode.
Mario Tennis is getting a big update, adding a bunch of new characters like Birdo, Shy Guy, a Koopa Paratrooper, and Petey Piranha. It's also adding in co-op challenges and limited time events, and that will be out September 19.
Nice. The Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle is out now, and it has Final Fight, the King of Dragons, Captain Commando, and Knights of the Round. Yep. Warriors Fate, Armored Warriors. Jeez. There's 7 games on it, and I don't even know if I got them all. I didn't know there was that many. There's a lot of games on here.
Yeah.
It's available now, and it's co-op, and you can play it online with your friends.
Alright, so the Nintendo Online service is out now, right? That launched on September 18th. You can now play online, which you could before, but now you're paying to play online.
Hooray, new feature.
You get 20 NES games with it, which is pretty cool because the original Legend of Zelda and Super Mario Bros. 3 is on there.
Yes.
They've added Save Data Cloud functionality, so most save games can be uploaded to the cloud. Still, a couple can't.
Yes. Like
You
Pokemon.
still need to use your smartphone app for voice chat, though. There will be
Yes.
special discounts for members of Nintendo Switch Online. And they've also released Nintendo Entertainment System controllers for the Switch as well.
Yeah, but you can only buy those if you are a member of the online service.
And there you go, alright.
Let's see, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. They showed off some things that your partner Pokemon can do with secret techniques, etc. So that was pretty cool to see. Like, it's kind of like a special, and they can also learn like exclusive special moves that only your Eevee or your Pikachu can learn. So it was just a little bit more info and stuff about Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee.
Diablo 3 Eternal Edition on the Switch. 4 players in any way. You can get some new Ganon armor. All amiibo work on it, so you get like extra loot from using amiibos. It's out November 2nd.
Nice. Let me see. Super Mario Party. They showed off more mini games, and they're all new, and there's 80 of them. So that's insane, and that's out October 5th.
Game Freak, the makers of Pokemon, showed off a trailer for a new RPG they're working on. It has got a code name at the moment called Town. The whole game is just set in a town, and that is coming out in 2019.
And it looks like the Pokemon everyone has always been asking for. But we'll see. City Skylines, which a lot of people have been asking for to be ported, now has the Switch edition. It's out right now, and it also includes Snowfall and After Dark DLC.
Yoshi's Crafted World is coming out in spring 2019. It looks awesome. A new trailer was shown for it, and they've announced that you can play any course backwards.
Yeah, that looks fun. Civilization 6 is coming to the Switch on November 16. Bam.
Starlink Battle Atlas is getting the full Star Fox cast in it now. So it was originally announced that you could use Fox's ship, but now it looks like everyone from Star Fox is popping up in the Switch version of Starlink. So that is out October 16.
Man, that game is just turning into Star Fox. With like some Starlink characters in it.
Yeah.
Let me see. Warframe, which was announced for the Switch, has a date now, November 20.
Alright, so there was a huge amount of Final Fantasy news for the Switch. So, coming to the Switch in the Final Fantasy world is Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, coming out in 2019. Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition HD, which is out now. World of Final Fantasy is coming to the Switch, and that is out November 6th. Chocobo's Dungeon is coming out this winter, which would be our summer in Australia.
Yes.
Final Fantasy 12 is coming out 2019, and also
and that's the Zodiac Age version as well.
the Zodiac Age version, yep.
Yeah,
and also 7, 9, 10, and 10.2 are all coming out onto the Switch in
all the HD update versions.
Yep, in 2019. So pretty much every Final Fantasy bar 8.
Yeah, and none of the pixelated ones yet?
No, none of the old school ones yet.
Damn, which I'm surprised about. Like, 8, I'm disappointed because that's one of my favorites, but I'm not so surprised. But, like, 3 or 6, whichever one you want to call it, I thought that would be a really easy slotted in there one, especially because it's like a Nintendo game. But maybe they have, like, another, 8-bit and 16-bit bundle of Final Fantasy planned for 2020. Who knows? That'd be awesome. Let me see. What else did they have there? Oh, wow. They finished up pretty hardcore with a big switcheroo showing Isabelle from Animal Crossing talking about how she wishes she was the mayor. And then she receives a letter, and it appears that they want her to appear in Smash. So fans were like heartbroken for 2 seconds, but then they announced that a full Animal Crossing game is coming in 2019.
Also, Sony has announced the PlayStation Classic. That's right. So they're following Nintendo's suit of releasing a mini version of one of their old consoles with a bunch of games preloaded on there.
Yes,
so, it looks like there's going to be 20 games on there, including Final Fantasy VII, Ridge Racer, Tekken 3, Wild Arms, and Jumping Flash. The rest hasn't been announced yet.
Yeah. Whew. And if Tony Hawk 2 is on there and it's 2 players, I'm getting it just to smoke you in front of everyone. If not, I think I'll be missing this one.
Yeah, I think I'll be skipping this one too. And I don't need to verse you at Tony Hawk 2 because I already know I'm better than you.
I don't know. There was that one time with witnesses.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
But,
I just don't know in a court of law how that would go down, man.
I don't know. Cool. Game sharing is coming to Switch. That's right. You can link your Switch to someone else's Switch and share games with each other.
Yeah, that is pretty fantastic. Especially for people like me who are like just demanding that my friends all get Switches. This is like if you're kind of like that, like I am, you can say like, get a Switch, quick. You can just have all my games. If you're trying to convince someone.
I thought you were going to share with me.
Oh, yeah, I meant people like me. I can all share with you, Callan. Well, there's a bidding war, so we'll see what happens. Red Dead Online got announced, which the beta is going to drop in November 2018, so a little bit after the release of the game, just like GTA 5 did with their online. No news yet as to when online will officially drop, but I'm so excited to try that one out.
And finally, the Xbox thriller Alan Wake is being turned into a TV show. And that's the news. Games we have been playing or things we have been doing.
Yes, wow, that's a long, catchy title.
I know, well, because I say things we've been doing because I went to the Madman Anime Festival in Melbourne last weekend.
Yes.
So it's like a big anime festival. They've got like advanced screenings of like animes. They've got like cosplay events. A lot of stalls selling like anime stuff like DVDs and books and figurines and all that sort of stuff. And they also had a bunch of video games to play. So Bandai Namco was there with like Soul Calibur 6, etc. That Jump Force game that we saw at E3 as well was there.
Yeah, with all the characters, of course.
Yep, Nintendo was there, and they had a big thing set up with a bunch of games, no new games, just like stuff like Mario Tennis, and Capcom had a booth there, and they had Devil May Cry 5 to play.
Nice, you bastard.
So I jumped on there. It was pretty cool. It was really slick, looked really nice, plays really well. I haven't played a Devil May Cry game in years, so I was a little lost throughout it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a 15-minute demo, which finishes with a boss fight with this massive sort of demon thing that you fight, which was pretty cool.
Nice.
The game's all based on like, making everything look stylish. So again, like in the old Devil May Cry games, you can hit the enemies a bunch of times and hit them up in the air with your guns, shoot them, and then combo that into something else, and then you get ratings on how stylish it was.
Yeah, and also like Bayonetta afterwards, which was obviously heavily influenced.
Yeah, so...
did you play the DMC game?
No.
Or you okay, because I want to know if it plays more like that one or more like the first original 3.
I have no idea. As I said, I've not played a Devil May Cry game since part 1.
Nice. Okay, cool.
So that was a long time ago. That was like 16 years ago now, so...
Wasn't that awesome? Part 1.
It was, and then I jumped on YouTube the other day to watch a bit of part 1 just for, old time's sake. Didn't look great.
Oh, really?
No, it didn't. There's that
have to go see
nostalgia
that.
thing happening again. So hopefully this new one will be awesome. So yeah, it was pretty cool. I died to the last boss though, which was embarrassing in the demo.
Well, that's what you do in Devil May Cry games. Those bosses are always pretty epic.
Yeah, people behind me sniggered in the line. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you give them the finger? And
No, I just said my name is Carl Smith.
And I hate this, and I hate fun. I never should have come here. And then you picked up the newspaper and read the stocks.
Yeah. So, no, that was pretty cool. Also, the Forza Horizon 4 got a demo.
Yeah, the demo. Nice.
So pretty much it was the, I guess, the intro to the game that we played at E3.
Yeah, at the Xbox sort of section.
Yeah.
There.
And then you get a bit of open world gameplay in the demo too, which was surprising. But I was like,
I didn't expect
cool.
that.
So it was that first little taste. You get to do a couple of the events at the start of the game, get to see, get to choose a couple of different cars to race in, do a few of the events. It wasn't too bad of a demo.
It was a pretty hefty demo. What I'm disappointed about, though, is you can't carry over your progress, which...
Yeah, because
when it's this
like,
close to release, it's like, come on.
It would have been nice to be able to play the demo and then save that data and then use it in the final game instead of when the final game does come out and you play that part of the game again, it's not as fun.
Yeah, like it's still gorgeous, but I mean, it's just a bit tedious, and the demo leads you to just like right when you get into it and go like, oh, now I want to just explore this world and really get into it. And then when you finally buy it, you're like, oh, I got to do this like couple of hours of stuff again.
Yep. Also, yeah, so that was, as always, Forza looked great, So
it was stunning with the 4K
Yep.
on the big screen, like and
it was just
HDR
nice
lighting.
to play it again because I loved it at
and
E3.
at home.
Yeah. Also, I tried the Trials beta, Trials Rising.
Oh yeah, I didn't get to try that one.
Yeah, so that game's like easy.
Is it? Is
Yep.
it just?
Yep, you're like, oh, it's so hard. And I'm like, oh, this is so easy. Like, and then I crashed so many times. So many times. It's like, yep, and I'm at this little lip up here. Whoops, I've flipped over twice. Bang. Crashed.
Did you do any, like, very hard levels? Was there
No, because, again, it's the start of the game.
Oh, man, I can't wait till you try some. Like, the Trials games, when they get to very hard, they just, like, the first move is, like, you know, an inverted cave or something, and you're like, what?
I was getting
go up
confused in
that.
this one because you get challenges for each level to progress. So, it might be, you know, come first or finish the course under a certain time, etc. This one was to beat one opponent, and then as soon as the course started, it said I failed each time.
What?
Yeah, so I couldn't progress any further. I didn't know why it was doing that. I don't know if it was a bug in the demo, if I was doing something wrong, but it was legit. As soon as you drop in, so it drops you in, and it would say fail. And I was like, oh, okay. So I didn't get any further than that. So I only played about 3 or 4 courses, but they were really pretty. Like, it was really fun. There's a lot going on. Like, there's like this, it's hard to explain. There's just a lot going on as you're sort of cruising along through this motorbike obstacle course, because that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so that was fun.
Nice. And that was your first Trials experience, yeah?
Yes. No,
What do you reckon?
I'd played a bit of one before, I think.
Oh, you did? Was
Yeah.
it Fusion or HD on 360?
No idea.
Oh, nice. Nice, cool. And speaking of first timing, something that's old and awesome, you tried Bastion this last couple of weeks.
Yes, that's right. So, you're like, oh, you got to play Bastion because it's really good, and you got to listen to it. And I'm like, oh, it's got to have some sort of cool music or something. So it's this top-down action RPG, I guess.
Yeah,
You call it that, dungeon crawler in a way.
Really nice artwork, sort of
Yeah,
like
and then
hand-drawn-y nearly.
it's got this cool narration going on throughout the game.
Yep, and it's like, it's kind of funny and cool, and it like describes almost everything you do.
Yeah. Yeah, so he drops down into the cave, he comes along, he gets his sword out, he looks at the enemy. Wonder what they're going to do, he thinks. Then he fights the enemy. You know, it's like all this sort of
Yeah, and
stuff.
I when you die and you fall down, he's like, and he falls to his death. Nah, just kidding. He's fine.
Yeah.
And you drop back.
Yeah, so it was interesting. I played a bit. I haven't played too much yet, but from probably the 30 to 40 minutes I played on it, I didn't mind it.
I think so it gets quite involved, and you have to like rebuild the town, because you know there's the big calamity and you've destroyed everything, and so slowly as you play, you like kind of build up your community and stuff, and you know you level up and do cool RPG stuff, and it's just a really smooth, beautiful game, and it just works so well on the Switch, and it looks gorgeous.
Very cool. Have you played anything, or you just been doing nothing?
I played Bastion. Yep, I played the Mega Man 11 demo. Which
And how was that, Mr. Mega Man himself?
Yeah, beautiful. Well, I'm not really a Mega Man man. I'm a Mega Man X man.
You got Mega Man on your arm, though.
That's Mega Man X. Actually,
Doesn't
that's
matter.
Astro Boy.
Same thing.
I'm gonna go find an. If anyone listening is interested in being a co-host for Game Train, I'm actually looking for one right now. Anyway, Mega Man 11 was super fluid, which I'm glad, because it really looked like it in the footage, but you never actually know until you play. He jumps much higher and quicker than I expected, though, which is kind of cool. Really weird to not be able to dash and jump up walls, though, which I'm just so used to doing that as Mega Man X, and when I jump in as Mega Man, I'm like, come on, hurry up, run, boost. No, okay, we just walk. And you can't, but it's just a different kind of strategy. Like, instead of, clipping up the walls, you have to call down your dog. What's his name? I really don't know anything about Mega Man. What is that little fella's name?
Rollo?
Rush or something? Is it
I don't
girl?
know. Rush?
People are gonna hate us.
I don't know.
Anyway,
well, you're the one with Mega Man on your arm. You should know all this.
I don't have Mega Man anywhere on my arm, and if you can point him out, I'll give you $4,000.
I can point out the giant Mega Man you've got on your arm.
So then, Yeah, instead of like clipping up walls, you get your robot dog to appear there, and he has like a spring on his back, and you can jump a bit higher. The demo comes with like a couple of moves, like different weapons that you normally steal from the bad guys. So you already have like this sort of dash attack thing. So I guess that kind of fills in for the dash, except you got to refill it. And you have like a electricity move where when you shoot, all these balls of electricity sort of follow the walls and the roof and the floor and stuff. And that was kind of cool, playing and doing different things. I couldn't beat the boss though. I was just full rubbish. I don't think I even got to the boss.
So you got Mega Man tattooed on your arm, and you couldn't even beat the boss in a demo.
I don't know why you're still going with that thing. I have no Mega Man tattooed on my arm, you weird fanboy. But yeah, so that was pretty fun. As much as I love talking about that with Callan, I'm going to have to move along. I also played more Spider-Man, and that game, that is one of those games where you realize how good it is after you go play other games and then come back to just play it a bit, and you're like, oh, you just fall straight into it, and it feels so awesome. It's so smooth. Like, it really just kind of jumps out. Like, the first time when we reviewed it, we played kind of nothing for ages, and then finally Spider-Man came, and we're like, yeah, Spider-Man, I just don't care. It's awesome because I'm playing something. It's kind of like eating anything when you're, like, starving, and it tastes good. But then when you go away and play, like, this plethora of games that we've had, and then go back, you're like, all right, now I can really judge it in comparison with a lot of other good quality content. And it's still, I'm happy to say, it still feels incredible, and it's like super awesome. And as soon as you just start playing, you're like, yeah, this is a video game. This is beautiful, and this is art. That aside, I also jumped into play some of the NES classics on the Switch. Played some Super Mario Brothers 1 and 3. Played some Excite Bike, which I'd played many, many, many years ago. But it was so nice to jump back in and see like how well Mario Kart 8 nailed their Excite Bike track.
Yeah, so
that was
true.
real. I was like, wow, all this stuff is in here. Like, they've done so well. The jumps look the same. The little puddles, and the little lanes. I kind of enjoyed just playing that, thinking of Mario Kart 8 the whole time. I played some Dr. Mario, and wasn't as into it as I thought I would be. That was weird. I guess it feels more like Puyo Puyo than Tetris, and I'm not a Puyo Puyo fan. I played some Gradius, which is really interesting because I really love the R-type games, which are coming to Switch soon. And they were really awesome, and they're kind of like a side-scrolling version of those like bullet hell shooters. It was a bit of fun. I'd never really played that one back in the day, so had a lot of fun with those games. Pretty wicked value for $30 for the year of online. Like, that's neither here nor there, but if you just think of it as spending $30 to get 20 NES games portable on your Switch that you can play multiplayer, I think it's a pretty good deal. Aside from everything else, which is like a bit,
Yeah,
But
exactly. Yeah, all right. Well, I reckon we should roll into our review this week.
Let's do it.
All right. So, this week we are reviewing Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
With this key and the silver box, we can remake the world.
I won't let that happen.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider, developed by Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal, published by Square Enix, is the latest chapter in the saga of Lara Croft. So it's following on 2015's Rise of the Tomb Raider and 2013's reboot of the Tomb Raider series, which has seen it go back to a young Lara, an inexperienced Lara, and her growth as she eventually becomes the Tomb Raider that we all sort of know and love.
Yes. And so this is apparently like the end of the trilogy, but the start of this new franchise.
Yep.
So they said they're still going to build on this story, but this is the end of the first big chapter of it all.
Yeah. So it's the end of her sort of, I guess, origin arc, you could call it.
Yeah. So now they'll just be making like games, like just more Tomb Raider games.
Yep, that's right. So, again, it's the third-person action-adventure game with, I guess, some exploration in it. It's not fully open world, but
yeah.
there's areas that are sort of open that you can explore.
Yeah, and get side quests and collect
Yeah.
things.
And so
Find secret stuff.
this time she goes to South America and goes to Peru in this one.
Yeah, which and deals with the Mayans and stuff, which is really Lara Croft Tomb Raider-y, that like the more of the stuff that I remember, just the setting.
Yeah, it's got like Incan and Mayan themes in it, and it's all set in sort of like jungles and temples. Like while part 2 was in Siberia, so it was up in the ice. So it was a real sort of refreshing look at everything. So much more colorful.
Yeah, and just so gorgeous, like really, really pretty, especially now in 4K. You can make it either like full resolution, or you can make it run at 60 frames and have it at 1080, which it loads really quickly, by the way. I was switching between the two and just like going back to the menu screen, and it was changing like super fast, so you can actually see the difference between the 4K resolution and the 1080, which is quite amazing. I've had it running at the 4K the whole time, and I feel like it's so plenty smooth for me already.
Yeah, exactly. I had it going at the full 4K throughout the whole thing as well, and it was
I
just
completely
just
recommend
great.
that one, actually.
Yeah. So, for anyone that's played the other 2 in the series, you pretty much know how the game goes, like in terms of playing. You do some exploration, and then you'll go find materials, you upgrade gear, you fight some enemies. It's pretty much how the flow of the game goes.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a Metroidvania sort of Arkham Asylum style, where you go through the game and there's like areas that you see but can't get to because you need certain gear, and then you backtrack, and then you can discover more things and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and look, this being the third in the series now, it's had 2 games to build on. So in terms of like Lara's skills and abilities, not much has been expanded on. So
Yeah,
the
that's
old
true.
classics like rope arrows back, and things like that, and they all work the same as they did in like part 1 and 2, but they've added now a like a rope that you can rappel down things, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's true. And well, she just uses her rope. It's kind of like they didn't add, like they added it, but in the story mode, it's kind of like they didn't add anything. She's just become more badass as she's grown. And I like that as soon as you start it, you have fire arrows, you have rope arrows. It's all like there in your arsenal. And things like you can go up in the trees and rope bad guys and pull them up and tie them up, kind of like Batman and Spider-Man, which is kind of cool to do right off the back of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But like moves like that, so she's just doing more with the stuff she has. It kind of feels cool.
I did like the rope rappelling, because you'd sort of go down and then you could use that to swing to other places and that, so that added a bit to it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it helped like bridge out the design and layouts of different levels.
Yeah.
I did really like that.
Something I did notice, which was a switch from part 2. In part 2, it felt like there was a lot of combat. Like, a lot.
Yeah, a lot of gunplay and like shooting.
Well, in this one, it's taken a step back, and there's like nowhere near as the amount as it was in part 2.
Yeah, it's a lot more like early Tomb Raider, where you're like, it's more about figuring things out and exploring your environment, and you're kind of battling the animals and the like your surroundings, more the environment, as well as the humans. But it's not just like a shooter or like you against bad guys and the world's just there. Like the world is a lot more of a character in this one.
Yeah, exactly. But they've added a few more stealth elements this time, so you can put mud onto Lara so she blends into, like, I guess, trees and things.
Yep. And she even blends in, even just standing out in the open a little bit more. It takes longer to notice if she has mud on her.
Yeah,
She can like
and
push against the walls.
Yeah, the walking against the walls was actually quite cool. You can sort of go into like ferns on walls and like blend in there. Almost like that scene in Predator.
Predator.
Where
Yeah.
when Arnie's down with the mud and the Predator comes up He's like right at his face, but he can't see him because he's in the mud.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. It's so much like that. That's true.
Doing that, I felt like I wanted a Predator game like that, where you'd have to be hiding from the Predator in the forest.
Well, don't they have that on Wildlands? Is that the game?
Oh, do
that
they?
one we couldn't jump on?
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Predator's in there now. I don't think you can hide in the mud, but I'm pretty sure they added Predator like as random as that. It sounds like a thing I'm just making up.
And
But I think that happened.
speaking of Predator, if you do love the films, go check out Fish and Connor Saw a Movie podcast, because they've been doing a lot of Predator stuff lately.
Oh, nice. Okay, what, in preparation for the new movie? Is that
They've
out yet?
reviewed the new one, and they spoke about the old one, and Fish's co-host Connor hated the original for whatever reason, so go in there and harass him.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, I gave my 2 cents.
Nice. Okay, good. Good to
Anyway,
know.
back to the Tomb Raider review. So they've added more, just more stealth elements, and tape it off to combat, and kept it a lot more exploration. So they've gone back to a lot, like exploring a lot of tombs. There's a lot of challenge tombs in this one, which
Yeah.
were there in the other ones, but I felt these ones were a bit more puzzly than the other ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt that too, and which is kind of more evident in the included like challenge tombs and how you can do those, and there's even more to do after the game. You know, like you go into your menu and you can do even more different ones, and they add them on. So they treat it more like a game, kind of like a Metal Gear Solid 2 did something kind of similar, didn't it? With those like virtual little levels and things like that, which I thought was really cool. It's kind of like these little segments of just like, okay, this is a video game now. Like, you know, we're not trying to disguise it and make a fun tomb and try and make it into like a realistic setting. They're worried more about like, let's see how we can make this really mechanically fun. And sometimes when you finish a tomb and it all like, you see how it all fits together, it's just so satisfying. Even if they're not that hard, a lot of them are just so well designed that they just come together so well. And you're like, oh, damn, this room leads to there and then this joins that. And wow, like it just feels really cool, which I really like. There was a real satisfying gameplay loop there in the tombs.
Nice.
Visual-wise, though, I have to mention, as soon as you start the game, you just notice that the lighting is immediately stunning. How awesome was it?
Oh, mate, and you know what? Friggin' every time my phone would go off over several days, I'd look down and here's another pretty screenshot from Carl.
Oh, yeah, I've even talked about the photo mode. I've just lived on it.
Oh my gosh, like every
hundreds of
5 minutes
photos.
I'd get a photo from him. I'm like, that's cool.
Weren't they fucking beautiful, though?
Yeah, they were nice. I did some good ones too, but I couldn't send them to you because of spoilers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, you got to take photos and then send them as I'm sending mine and go like, oh, he's up to this section. I can finally send him this one.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
So,
Have them ready for me. There was something else I wanted. The no HUD heads-up display is really nice. I'm pretty sure they did that in all the games. It's just really evident when it's in like a big, vast, huge 4K, big screen. And just seeing like no heads-up display, really cool. But if you're a streamer, it's so cool that you can go into the menu and you can actually turn on a frame overlay that doesn't actually cover your game actual interface, but on the top and bottom bar in like thin little bars, they show like really cool stuff like hours played, enemies killed, and all kinds of like fun things to just kind of keep counting down for viewers or to display on a
That's cool.
streaming setup. Yeah.
and
I
another
thought it
thing was
super
the
cool.
difficulty options in this game.
The what? Sorry.
The difficulty options that you could change.
Yeah,
This
that
was
really
really
fun.
cool, and I think this is going to be the way that games now go.
Yeah.
So instead of just easy, normal, hard, there was easy, normal, hard for different aspects of the game, whether it just be combat or whether it be puzzles. So if you put on easy, it gives you more clues to solve the puzzles. On hard, it gives you nothing. And then
like
also
she talks to herself.
environmental. So there's like little environmental clues on where you're supposed to go. On normal, on easy, it becomes very obvious, and on hard, it takes it all away.
Yeah, so what he means by that is you guys must know in like a lot of the third-person adventure games, like every other Tomb Raider, Uncharted, God of War, on every ledge there's this like mysterious paint or like bird poo in a lot of the Assassin's Creed, or like, so some guys come and painted these 100-year-old mountains for you to climb and know. And they've just had that in every single one of these games. And in this one, it was just so cool that you could change the brightness of it to make it super obvious, or just take it away completely and make it just like you have to try and figure out where on this mountain you can climb.
Yep.
Really cool.
Yep.
I love that.
Something I felt a bit strange about this one, her looks changed again.
Well, see, it's kind of like James Bond to me. Her looks have changed in every single game. Not only that, they changed 3 times in the first game.
Yeah, and depending on which platform you play it on.
Yeah, and like not just better graphics, like she looked different. And so she's looked different in all 3 games. And then, yeah, so there's been like, I guess that's 5 different Laras.
I think the Part 1 remaster on the Xbox One looked the best.
Oh, yeah?
I think so.
I
think it was
don't
that
know
one.
why, but I liked the very first one on 360. Maybe because it was the first time I saw the new Tomb Raider and was like, wow, cool. And
Yeah.
just grew attached to her and like fell in love with this new... I was like, all right, so this is Lara now. Okay, this is a new character. I love this game. I love Lara. Fell in love with the concept, the character, and her face. And then the next game, well, the same game came out again, like, just, remastered. I'm like, oh, she looks completely different. Okay, well, I'll get to know this one. And then part 2 came out. I'm like, oh, completely different again. What's going on? So it's very it's strange. It's like they're not just making the graphics better. They're just like changing her face a bit, hoping none of us notice. I'm like, that's a different person, guys. It's like a new actress each time. When it has been and still is the same voice actress every time. I wanted to say, something else I really enjoyed is I don't want to say too much because it's story related, so we don't like spoiling anything like that. But I do really like this more realistic approach and depiction of Lara as sort of a young, stubborn girl who's not her father. And I find it really refreshing. Like, she's making mistakes and she's not perfect. And, like, she's just a young, hot-headed girl. And there's a lot of that throughout the story where you're just like, you don't always agree with her. You're like, sometimes she makes moves where I'm a bit embarrassed because I'm playing as her. So she's kind of representing myself. I'm like, I don't know if I agree with that. Why did you do that? And it's kind of just really building her as a character, like, realistically, which I think is like kind of refreshing. I like that. Yeah, I just thought I'd mention that. I thought it was really cool.
Bit of a interesting sort of story in some ways, but then I feel like it loses itself later on in the game. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, does it? Do you feel like it gets a bit? I mean, it is the third game, kind of doing similar stuff. Do you feel like it gets a bit repetitive?
Yeah.
And
okay, I'd played
change
1 and
quite as
2
much.
earlier this year, but even then, jumping straight into the third one, and I've had a several month gap. It just felt like, oh, here we go again. Okay.
You got to stop doing that.
No, but it was kind of good to see at the same time how the game evolved.
Yeah, that's true.
But at the same time, I was like, oh, here we go. Okay, yep, all right. And I felt like they used a lot of the... Well, obviously, you would use a lot of the same animations. I just felt there wasn't enough new in this one. Like, enough... The jump from 1 to 2 was huge.
Yeah,
I just felt there was not near as big as the jump from 2 to 3.
Well, it is the same generation, whereas 1 to 2 was like a whole generational gap.
That's true. That's very true. I just was expecting probably a bit more from 3 than what 3 gave me.
Yep. Okay, that's fair enough. I mean, I've been kind of chomping at the bit for this for nearly 3 years.
Yep.
So I was a bit more excited going in, but I did feel that like the initial like, oh cool, this is awesome, and like the stealth stuff was really cool. The temples felt cool, and I really love this new, well not new, like this setting for her. Like I love being in the jungle, and she looks great in there, and it just feels like Tomb Raider, but it didn't change often enough for me. Well, not that I was disappointed. I did take a photo. Literally every corner that I turned, something looked stunningly beautiful. And there was some really vibrant hubs, like really lived in little sections of the game that were very impressive as well. But yeah, the surroundings, you could say, just start to get a little bit old after a couple of hours. And yeah, I just found myself like not really drawn to it. Whereas like when I was playing Spider-Man, I was waking up every day and like, or trying to finish whatever I was doing, so I had time to jump back in and play more Spider-Man. Because it was just so exciting. And then when I stopped playing this, is what I was talking about earlier, I jumped on Spider-Man for a bit and I was like, yeah, this is a game. Woo!
Yeah.
You know, just like every moment I was like, this is so fun. And I jumped back in Tomb Raider and I was like, well, it's pretty and it's really nice and all the mechanics work really beautifully. But man, I wish I could be playing Spider-Man.
Yeah, and sometimes I was like, man, I wish I could just web swing up to that ledge now.
Yeah, and which is nice to say because Tomb Raider is so much more visually stunning than Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man still looks awesome, but Tomb Raider is just like this next level of just visual fidelity, like beautiful lighting and jungles and perfect texturing everywhere. But it's so cool to see that visuals aren't everything, like, and it's just so blatant between these two games because it's like Spider-Man is just such a fun game, and Tomb Raider is like, it's awesome, but it's kind of more awesome just by the numbers awesome.
Yeah. So, what are you scoring this game?
Well, I didn't give it that many bad points. There was something else I wanted to mention, which the sound cut out 3 times separately for me, so I had to restart the game. So there's a few bugs to be ironed out. Mm-hmm. And the one last thing that kind of, bugged me a little bit was they tried to make it this like seamless world, but there was some very obvious loading times between sections where they like
when
slow
she goes
you
through
down
a crevice in the wall.
yeah. Or at first you're like, oh yeah, this makes sense, but then when she goes like under a vine, that's not even, and she like slowly moves a leaf, and you're like, I could have just pressed dodge under that thing, like you've shown me under many other vines, and she's like lifting it, or she'll be sprinting along in the mud. And then suddenly, slowly step in the mud. And I'm like, I know you're loading. Just pause and say loading and just let me just keep going. I can see what they're doing, trying to make it seamless. But it's like, it wasn't quite like Horizon Zero Dawn or Spider-Man with the seamlessness.
Yeah.
But that aside, the game is still stunning. It is a beautiful, fun game. Watching Lara grow and turn into, Lara Croft as we know her is super exciting. I am excited to see what they do now that they don't have like, the arc of origin story to work with. And I'm curious, like, how do you go on from this? So it got me excited for that. I gave it an 8.2 overall. Okay.
Well, I finished the game now. Done all, rolled those credits and all that. I still feel part 2 is the best in the series out of the 3 of them.
Nice. Okay, so like a Star Wars situation.
Yeah, pretty much. Part 2 was excellent. This was good, not excellent. I'm gonna give it a flat 8.
Nice.
All right, and that was Shadow of the Tomb Raider. We are now up to the games of our lives.
Like sands through the hourglass, so are the
Games of our lives.
So this is that segment when we discuss our favorite game from each console that we've owned, and this week we roll into the Xbox 360.
All right.
So Xbox 360 was what? Yeah, gosh, wasn't that a generation? That console through there.
Oh, that was beautiful. It was so nice going from PS2 to Xbox 360. Like, we were spoilt for 2 generations in a row with, like, just fantastic generations of games.
Yep. So, what was your pick of the bunch? And I think I already know the answer to this.
Yeah, you probably do.
Yeah.
I
Red Dead
think
Redemption.
you do. Well, actually, funny you should say that. It's Red Dead Redemption! Yeah!
So not Grand Theft Auto 5?
Woo! Nah, no way! Red Dead Redemption? Holy
Not
moly,
The
what a
Last
game.
of Us? Wait, wrong system.
Wow!
Whoops.
Mate, this is a 360 segment. Keep your fanboy PS4 hating on Xbox because of its exclusives away from this. This is Xbox only gets a few of these things, and this is Xbox's time, okay?
Okay,
If you want to talk about bloody exclusives, you could talk about BioShock at least for a while, or something like that.
Yeah, just as I was saying it, I realized. Because we're talking the console, not the generation. But anyway.
Yeah, it was definitely Red Dead Redemption. GTA 5 was fantastic as well, but like, you know, besides being like an evolutionary masterpiece of gaming, it didn't bring anything new in like feeling to me, whereas like I'd never even gotten into westerns as movies, yet alone games, and then Red Dead, I was just like, oh well, it's Rockstar, and that just the like, you know, never mind the actual gameplay just being like awesome and fun and satisfying, but like just the vibe that game created and all the little things it did to just create a mood and build a world, and like the story itself, which I've gone on about in the past, but just one of the most entertaining stories from start to finish. Beautiful, satisfying, powerful ending. Like, what a game. And then as a muso, to find out like the entire soundtrack of that whole game blends together brilliantly because the entire thing was done in the key of A minor. So, which I just thought was so cool, because I could just grab a guitar and knowing that, or like a harmonica, and kind of play along to any part of the game as long as I stay in A minor and kind of fit in there. Like, it's just fantastic. What a game. Red Dead Redemption. Pew, pew, pew. How'd you go?
Yeah, so I went with, can you guess what I went with?
Pokemon.
World of Warcraft? No.
Yeah.
The Last of Us.
Oh, come on. All things that the Xbox does very well, all right?
Okay, alright, I went Guitar Hero.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, for me,
Nice.
I fell in love with music games on that thing. I had Guitar Hero 3, Guitar Hero World Tour, Guitar Hero Aerosmith, Rock Band 2, Rock Band The Beatles, Rock Band AC/DC.
I have Rockman on my arm.
So, yeah, for me, it was the music games that sort of was part of that whole thing of the plastic guitars and then eventually the plastic drums and all that. It was so much fun. I had so much fun with that and spent way too much money on songs.
Nice. That was pretty awesome. That whole like era of just like having that, like everyone had that somewhere in the corner at every party.
Yeah.
You know, just for a bit. And after a few drinks surrounded by friends, there was kind of nothing more fun in the gaming community for a while than just smashing out some Guitar Hero, you know, just half cut with your friends and then seeing if you can do it on super hard mode and getting zero.
Yep. It was so much fun. I think Guitar Hero 3 was the first game I owned on my... No, I owned other games. But yeah, when I bought that, I fully switched on to 360 rather than PlayStation at that time. And I bought it on the 360 because I heard that the controls were just a little bit better on the 360. They were more...
Responsive?
more responsive than the PlayStation one. Now, this could have just been people talking crap online, but I believed it and bought Guitar Hero on that, and then I bought the next Guitar Hero game on, and then I started just buying everything on the 360 after that.
Nice. Yeah. So that became your third party machine.
Yeah, yep, pretty much. But yeah, that was Game of Our Lives this week. Yeah, as always, we like to get a bit of participation from our passengers. I jumped on again to the Facebook this week and decided to ask them if they had any questions for us, or if they want some renovation tips, or if they want to know why Carl still does not like fun.
Wow, because I'm a politician, librarian, accountant. I can't think of any of this.
So yeah, we had a few people writing. We had Mark Thomas from he's got his own podcast now called Must Play.
Nice.
And he wrote, "What color should I stain my deck?"
All right. Well,
so this is Better Games and Gardens now that we're on.
Yes, yep, why not? You know, a nice natural dark wood color I like, because then
yep.
it fades slowly over the years with the sun and,
Yep.
you know, doesn't get too light. And it still, you'll find, grows into other colors of different kind of shades of brown, whereas if you start light, it starts to get quite pale and a bit glary outside. So, you know, I'd say start with a nice dark finish. What do you reckon, Callan?
Yeah, I'd probably go with the dark finish as well. Or sometimes a lighter finish also works good on a wooden deck. You know, I
just
guess
feel like, you know, in the bright days when you're outside with the family having a picnic, just a bit glary on the eyes, you know, that bright.
yeah, but
sort of
it
finish.
depends on like what's around and what color his house is and what his backyard's like. You know, it has to all blend together too.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's like bringing the room together, but you're kind of just bringing the world together when you're out there. It's,
Yeah, exactly.
Very powerful. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Thank you for the question there, Mark. We
Wonderful.
we hope we've helped you out on your decision on what color to paint your deck or stain your deck.
Yeah, please show us some photos.
All right, so we've got Andrew Natoli from the Inconsolables podcast, and he writes, "Legend has it that Callan is half human, half loot box. Can you confirm or deny this?" No. Yeah. So I don't think I'm a loot box.
No,
No.
definitely not a loot box. No.
No. All right. Reef, our resident questions guy, he said he's recently finished his man cave with an LED setup, which looks ridiculous. I can't believe this. He's got
Like,
this
amazing,
He's got this
ridiculous.
cabinet set up, this glass cabinet with a LED backlights in there, with all these different consoles. It looks so good. But he wants to build a controller-style coffee table. He's asking which controller should he build as his coffee table and why.
Okay, now I would say the original NES one because it's a nice normal square, like rectangle shape, which is awful to hold, but great as a coffee table. However, that one specifically I've seen done so many times.
Yep.
So I think the next best thing would be a Super NES controller because it's still quite flat.
Yep.
You know, just it doesn't have the straight edges, but it's still, you could make quite flat. Whereas the other ones, like if you wanted to go Sega or something, they're also curved. Anything new is all, you know. So I don't know. What do you reckon?
What about the old Atari?
Well, with just this huge knob in the middle. You know, if he could do that, make a really big square coffee table, maybe make like a vase in the middle to put roses and flowers in.
Or a Nintendo 64 controller.
No, he should make a Wii one. Just have two little movable. Nothing works. Let's be honest.
Yeah. What about GameCube?
Oh my god, that's just. I'm gonna just pretend you didn't say that. You know what could work actually? A Game Boy, a really big Game Boy.
Yep.
That would be cool.
That would be cool too. Oh, and then he could
Because then
turn
you
the
have something on the
screen
screen.
area into one
Yeah,
of those
now you feel
tabletop
it.
screens. Imagine
Oh
that.
man.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go, Reef. You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're so welcome.
Enjoy your Game Boy coffee table.
Yep, and we're gonna come and have coffee and play one of your 15 odd consoles when it's
Yep.
finished.
And finally, Neil Napa writes, okay, why is there not a HD remake of Legend of Zelda 1, 2, and Link to the Past? Or Metroid and Super Metroid for the Switch? And also, why don't you like Fun Carl?
See, there was no comma between the fun and the Carl, so I think he's asking you, why don't you like Fun Carl? Yeah, so answer that, Callan.
But
Yeah,
you're not
that's-
fun because you don't like fun. So
Well,
how can I
that's
like
not
or
what Neil's
dislike you,
asking.
Fun
He
Carl?
wants to
Anyway,
know, why don't you like Fun Carl? I like fun. Everybody likes Fun Carl. Grandma saved my day.
oh wow. So yeah, why isn't there a HD remake of Zelda 1 and 2 and Link to the Past or Metroid or Super Metroid for the Switch? You know what? I'd like to know the same thing.
Correct. Well, Zelda 1 and 2 probably not as easy to make a HD remake of. But Link to the Past, I don't think needs one. Just
Oh no! If they took Link to the Past and put it into the Link Between
Worlds?
Worlds engine, because it uses the same map.
Yeah, that's true. That should just be on the Zelda 1 and 2 though. I don't know
Yeah.
how they'd I mean, maybe. Same thing
Like
again.
Link to the Past on that Link Between Worlds one. Oh my gosh, that would be incredible if they made that.
Yeah, that would be.
And Metroid and Super Metroid, I'd love to see HD remasters, or even use the engine from the Metroid game that came out on DS,
3DS?
the remake of Metroid 2.
Yeah, was that Samus Returns?
Yeah, Samus Returns. Yeah, that would be awesome too if they did that for like Part 3. Well, Part 3 with Super Metroid.
Yeah, very, very true. As to why they haven't, who knows?
I guess they don't like money.
Well, I think they're doing all right. I reckon they're just biding their time. I think absolutely everything is going to come to the Switch, to be honest. Just everything. It's just a matter of time. As soon as... I reckon they're saving all this easy peasy stuff for like the moment they start like running out of ideas. Like, alright, they've done all their awesome cool stuff. What are we going to do in 2020? I know. Link to the Past.
Yeah.
Metroid and Super Metroid. Like, fans will just shut up and be like, thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I'll take 2.
Exactly. I reckon the reason is backup.
All right, so yeah, thank you all for writing in on our Facebook page, which, as always, you can find us at facebook.com/GameTrainPodcast. Or if you want to get us on Instagram, it's at GameTrainPodcast, or on Twitter at GameTrainTalk, or our website, which is www.GameTrainPodcast.com. All right, well, that brings us to the end of the episode again.
Yeah.
All right, thanks. Just joking, we've got the trains first, people. Yeah, that's right. So let's kick off with the lame train.
Alright, so my lame train is pretty simple. Which is kind of the same as my love train last episode. And it is that I spent so long in this lull waiting for games, and now they're just all falling on us left and right, that I don't know which game to spend how much time on and when. And it's just like this overwhelming issue of a first world problem where there's like, it's like everything is fantastic, and I want to just like, I miss when I was young and had no money and your parents bought you one game every 6 months and you just lived the crap out of that game. Everything, front and back, collected everything, and once that was done, you played it again on like game mode plus, and you did it hard, and you became like an absolute expert in the lore, and you looked it up. And I miss delving that hard into a game, because if I tried to do that in Spider-Man, I would miss Tomb Raider, and then Forza, and then FIFA, and that's just like the next week, you know, like, and then there's Assassin's Creed, and it's so exciting, but it's like, I just want to stop time just for a month per game and just like really delve in there, because I really miss just like losing myself in a game, which is the worst thing to complain about, but I'm doing it because I can. That's my lame train.
Wow.
There you go. What's yours?
Nintendo Switch Online.
Oh, yeah, damn.
Wow, okay, let's see. Ooh, cloud saves, but not for every game. Cool, thanks, Nintendo. Also, you know, the people that have been playing Splatoon for like the last 1.5 years now have to pay to play it online. People aren't happy about that. And then
Yep.
it's like, you know, it's pretty cheap and all. It's pretty cool. NES games, that was awesome, but I would have liked to see more than just NES games. Maybe some SNES classics too, Nintendo. You know.
Yeah, more
Like,
backup.
we know you've got them all there. Just start releasing them. We want them. People want this. And the big one, your voice chat. Again.
Oh, God.
It's still on the app on the phone. Why do I want to use my phone for voice chat? I don't. I do not want to use my phone for voice chat. I want to be able to plug a microphone into that controller or switch or whatever and talk through that. Not a separate app on a phone. I'm not going to use the app. If I'm going to talk to Carl on a Switch game, I'm going to phone him up on my telephone and talk to him through that instead. Not through your app. No. Stop it.
Stop it. Correct.
So annoying. It is so annoying. Like, it is 2018. We have had a decade of online console communications now. You should
This is
not be
very
messing
true.
this stuff up.
Well, can't Can't argue with that. That is 100% true.
All right, onto the love train.
There we go. We've had some pretty strong lame trains today. My love train is really simple, and it's that I'm loving you guys and the listeners. You've just been awesome. I'm loving a lot more of the, your involvement in our show and these questions. It's just been really awesome in these last couple episodes, and it actually makes it a lot more fun and exciting for us to actually record and be able to, interact and communicate with you guys, and even chatting with you on the Facebook and on the Instagram has been really fun, and getting to know a lot of you guys. It's just been kind of genuinely warming. So thank you everyone for that. That's my love train.
Mine is that this whole collection of Final Fantasy games are coming to the Switch.
Oh man, good one. Nice work.
Yep. It's not just Crystal Chronicles. It is Final Fantasy 7, 9, 10, 10-2, 12, World of Final Fantasy.
Oh
yeah, no 8. But I'm so excited that all this stuff is coming to the Switch. Like, in this, it's great. It is so good.
Hours and hours and hours of excellent gameplay in there.
So yeah, I'm excited. I'm loving the fact that all that is coming to Switch. And we're only discussing the other week that World of Final Fantasy should go to the Switch because it'd be the perfect Switch game. Well, yes, it is.
That's true. I mean, this sounds a lot more like a hype train to me, Callan.
No, it's loving that this whole collection is coming. Not that I'm hyped and excited for it because I've played a lot of these games before. I'm just loving that it's all coming to the Switch, and I'll be able to go around portable. I love being able to play games like that portable because, yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Oh, and now onto the hype train.
Hype train. Yes, thank you. My hype train is that all these Final Fantasy games are coming onto this. No, I'm just kidding. No, my hype train, after smashing that demo and being completely lost in that world again, I'm just super hyped to be playing Forza Horizon 4 extremely soon, and really discovering that world. Forza Horizon 3 was just such a wonderful experience, and I can't wait to delve into that more and just unlock 5 billion cars and take just as many photos, and race around like a hoon.
Mine is Forza.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited for that. Forza Horizon 4, played it at E3 and that, and came away with very positive feelings about the game. So being able to play through the full game is going to be a lot of fun.
Nice.
All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the Game Train once again. I'll be back next time with our Forza Horizon 4 review and our FIFA 19 review. So we're doing a little double there, with a bit of car racing, bit of soccer playing. It's a very sporty episode.
Is this our first sport game that we've ever reviewed on Game Train?
Yes.
No, you did tennis.
Mario tennis.
Yeah. And you did cricket.
And I've spoken about cricket. Yeah.
Yeah, you're quite the sporty man, Callan.
Yeah, I know. But join us here for all that. And anything else you want to add?
Nope, just that you guys are awesome. Thank you very much for continuing to support us, and thank you.
All right, thank you very much, and this has been Game Train.